guys, and welcome to your equine education video. Today we're going to talk about horse shows, the things you need and how to choose your classes and what each of the classes mean. So before you sign up for a horse show, you will get one of these from one of your instructors or your coaches, and they will help you decide on your classes. But let's talk about what each of the classes mean. So the first class is English Pleasure. So that's the first one up here, English Pleasure. Pleasure is judged on how fun your horse looks to ride. So a big smile goes a long way, guys. So if you're frowning and look upset and grumpy, well, that doesn't look like you're having that much fun, does it? So the judge is going to notice that. But it's also on how obedient your horse is. So if your horse is being rude, lazy, or wild, or any of those naughtiness that we don't want to see, we lose points for that. So some great tips is big smile. And if you have to make corrections on your horse, it's always best to make it when the judge isn't looking. So it's a good little pro tip there. The next is English Equitation. So English Equitation is judged solely on our position. So are we in our good into our heels? Are our shoulders back? Are we in our 3-point position? Shoulders, hips, heels. Are our thumbs up? Our hands down? Bonus points for posting diagonals. How is our seat when we're sitting trot? Are we bouncing? All of that kind of stuff goes into our marks. The next one we usually have is Hunt Seat Equitation. So this is still judged on our position, but it's a different position than our classic 3-point. This is a little bit more relaxed. It's if our 3-point and our 2-point had a baby. They met in the middle, so we're a little bit more relaxed. It's somewhere like our 2-point fell into our seated position. You might have things like 2-point in the class as well, but we're not as tall and vertical as we are for the equitation class. Then we have best suited for dressage. Now guys, you better be tall for this one. Dressage is all done from our 3-point position. In this class, you also might notice you have things like lengthening and collecting the trot, as well as things like extra sitting trot, because at the higher levels, dressage is performed almost entirely in sitting trot for the trot portion of your test. So all of those things count, but they also would like to work towards seeing your horse in a better contact, a little rounder, and coming up over their back as well. So at the greener shows, that's not as important. We will focus more on the position and your connection to your horse. But as you go up the levels to off-property shows, they are looking for that as well. So all of those are kind of what we're looking for in our show classes. The next thing you have to decide after picking your classes is your horse choice. If you're at a lesson barn, if you have your own horse, it's pretty easy to decide. But if you are at a lesson barn, this is a great thing to have your instructor help you decide which horse makes sense for you to ride in the shows. Horses can sometimes be a bit different at the shows. They can be a little bit lazier, or they can go the opposite and be a little bit peppier. Some of them are a little bit more excited to show off and strut their stuff. Now that we've got our form handed in, we've gotten it to our office and our admin people, we have to have all of our proper show clothes. So just like for normal riding, we need to have our proper boots. So that's boots with our heel, ideally full tall boots or paddock boots with half chaps, and our helmet for safety. But there's a few other pieces of equipment that go into our proper show gear. Our ideal is light colored beige or white breeches. For dressage competitions, you actually have to have white breeches. And for show jump, you have to have beige or white breeches. You can't have dark colors, but for these shows, it's not as important, but something to start thinking about collecting. They make great Christmas presents or birthday presents. Then we want to have a show shirt tucked into a belt. That nice and tidy. We want a collared show shirt. For the schooling shows, just a folded down collared shirt or a long sleeve with a vest is okay. But for full shows, we want to have our full show shirt with a stock pin and a show jacket. Now there's some little finishing touches that are very inexpensive to add to your collection that do go a long way to polish your whole look as well. And that's a nice set of gloves and a hairnet. So a hairnet with your hair all tucked in under your helmet goes a long way for your appearance. If we see hair sticking out, then we will notice that right away and it doesn't look as tidy. The other things we want to think about, especially if you own or lease your own horse, is having a clean, fresh saddle pad. White is definitely an eye-catching color, as well as clean tack and a clean braided horse. So if you're looking for ways to learn all of that, we've got some great classes available, but you've also learned a lot of those things on our equine education program if you've been following along. So make sure that when you come to your show, you're putting your best self forward and your horse's best self forward, and you'll be sure to catch any judge's eye.